Um, to kick things off, I imagine there's not going to be a lot of people here because it is a holiday, and I don't expect people to show up for holidays. Um, so that's all Buddha. Um, but regarding your question, Zach, we're going to handle pickup games and travel between regions. The downtime rules will handle travel between regions. It's all set up there. Essentially, you can just spend some downtime and it'll let you go to a different region. Um, if you're concerned about players being able to play in games, like a pickup game that's from, say, like a different region of their own, generally speaking, it shouldn't be too expensive downtime wise to actually just pop on over. That said, there's teleportation magic. They have the thing that we've discussed for a while now, the Adventuring Guild sigil, which will teleport them into their mission. So even if they're not in the particular region and they're trying to get into a pickup game, they're golden. They can just Adventure Sigil BAP into the region. So it's essentially a non-issue in terms of their location. Um, but if they're like trying to get into a campaign in a different region, the sigil could work, but more specifically, it'll be better to do so in region. Essentially, the sigil makes it so we're not limiting people from games. They can still play in games. A lot of the meat and potatoes for campaigns will generally be regional focused. So if you're not in the region, you will have some downsides. Like you obviously won't be able to interact with a lot of NPCs in the region and whatnot as you would, except for when you're in mission. And there's some issues that could drum up, such as events that might be relevant to your character you don't show up for. You don't have to show up to some of these events. You don't have to show up to all of them, depending on what your DM says. But I'm just saying that there could be some issues. But I made the travel system fairly cheap, downtime wise, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. You can just pop on over, especially if we get to the point where teleportation magic is more commonplace for players. So like casting the teleport spell, that one is just I cast the spell. I'm in a new region now. Yeah.
They still have to attune to the runes, right? Once
The
they get to the islands and everything.
yeah, the different menhir stones, way shrines, etc. Those teleportation fonts, attuning to them will allow players to teleport without the spell from region to region. They still have to attune to them. With the teleport spell, you can just teleport to any stone that you're attuned to. So you can be in the middle of butt ass nowhere and just cast that spell and teleport to a way shrine. Reading through legacies, post-its. Pretty much, it's a non-issue since we're forcing everyone to be part of the quote unquote adventuring guild. Um, we're not requiring any payments or anything like that. It's a quote unquote guild for purposes of player mechanics. So it's not really a you have to follow these rules, all blah 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 blah. It's more of this lets our players do things that allow the living world to function properly. Yeah, yeah. It's not really going to be a go into two campaigns simultaneously. It's more of a it will get you to where you need to go for your group. I think it'd be fine to have a lock sheet, but we can also just blap a player with the tag RP lock or uh, inventory lock or the locks that we have, various locks that we have, and just have a tag for it, a role that we give them, and then DMs can, when they're choosing their players, they can physically see if they have one of those tags. Having a sheet could also work, but that does put more work on the DM side of things in terms of you have to fill out a form essentially. And I know how much we love forms here, so I imagine that's something we prefer to avoid. But we can do it if need be. Yeah. You definitely don't want to have barriers getting into pickup games or any of our part-time GM games or anything of that nature. Just want players to be able to get in games, enjoy games, and have fun. That's the end goal within the overarching context of a living world. So there needs to be some limitations, such as, you can't just power run a game and 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 a game, 3 games in one day. No, nothing crazy. You can do that, but they're not living world. You can, like, if someone's like, I want to run a game for players, and you're like, I want to play as my character. You can play as your character if you want to. It's not going to progress your living world character. But I should clarify what I just said. Your living world character is specific to the living world games and games run in the living world. If you really like your character's backstory in their particular arc, and someone is running using the living world rules for the Looking for Group channel, you do what you want to do. We're not limiting you outside of living world games. Yeah.
It's not Adventure League.
Exactly. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Well, I mean, we could look into expanding upon the Guild Seal's teleportation function. I think for purposes of balance in terms of the economy, keeping it purely functioning towards teleportation to missions and from missions is the best way to go about it. Because a lot of the other issues that the previous Living World had was a lack of money sinks and just a broken fucking economy. And some other major issues too. But in terms of the economy, money sinks and yeah, exactly. Travel areas, trade, all these other things that we have in the downtime rules, which I'll be releasing to World Anvil either today, maybe tomorrow, depending on if I have anything going on for the holidays. I don't think I do.
I mean, worst case, we can if someone gets out of hand, we threaten them with a bubble. Still enjoy that.
I mean, there are bubbles, yeah.
Exactly. Everyone here knows the horrors of the bubbles.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, yeah, core philosophy. Yeah, exactly. Yes, post. There you go. There's a link to a post I sent out last week regarding DM, part-time DM, staff, all that. Basically, react to that. At the end of the day, anyone who is not on those roles, who has not reacted, who has also not been to a meeting, the past, 2-3 meetings or so, I'm going to look at our previous recordings, who has the DM or part-time DM tag. If you've not reacted to it, your roles are being dropped. I will, send you messages being like, thank you for all the work you've done and all that good stuff. But cleaning house. So the side cleaning house thing is mostly that we've been doing and getting prepared for is mostly geared towards staff as a whole. Yeah, but here's your last chance. I'm closing at the end of the day. To if you have not yet seen this or whatnot, to react to that post that I just linked to. They really lock our limit how many messages we can send out.
Yeah, so bots don't
I
spam
mean
send out
that's
messages.
fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, if you get blapped your tags, feel free to message me, and I will, you know, I'll let you know what's going on. And if you are still able to work and you just haven't been around for like a week or so for whatever reason, just, let me know. Um, yeah, tags are being blapped. That works. I can just blap them on those tags, so we know. Yeah. What are you thinking ahead? I didn't think of that. I didn't think about potential old tags. I mean, we have hiatus. It's not really hiatus if we're literally just blapping them. Update wise, I've released a whole bunch of new stuff on World Anvil. Basically, I'm just going through all the stuff I've been working on and just slamming it onto World Anvil is what I've done this week. So like I finally got around to slamming the sanity rules on World Anvil. I know we've had those for a while now. Corruption rules are on World Anvil now. Um, been working on sprucing up all the patrons and whatnot. I know you sent me the patrons working on the gods now. I've just been going through the patrons as well, getting them on their pages, making sure all the patrons are updated with the domains that they have access to and whatnot. Big thing difference for patrons versus deities is that they only have access to 2 domains at maximum, compared to deities who have 6. So, yeah. Generally, there are evil deities too, and many of those are hidden. Uh, but if you want to like worship an evil deity, patrons are where it's at right now. That's like the main focus for evil. Yeah. But anything else other than update wise? I mean, there's a couple of evil deities. I just need to slap them on World Anvil. It's a thing. Um, anything else update wise? I will likely be putting on. Can't think of the word for it. This week, we're going to be going through the clamp and all that, which is something we're going to be discussing legacy after this meeting. But and anyone else in leadership. Um, essentially, this week I'm just focusing more on slapping all my rules on World Anvil, trying to get the update that I want to have finished and flushed out on the equipment guide. Sent out as well. Like I intended to release it last week, but since I have the extra time, I might as well just power through it. Other than that, though, no, I don't really have anything else to discuss. It's just mostly just hey, updates, cool stuff. Let's talk.
Or what about Barbarian?
That's on the list to slam on World Anvil.
Okay.
Like I said, everything I've been working on is I'm just going through the motions, slamming all the stuff I've been working on a World Anvil.
Since a couple of people are waiting on that to see what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I need to edit some of the wording for it for World Anvil because it's using my terminology I used for Spheres of Divinity is the big thing with Barbarian. But other than that, no, it just yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Send me the link to the spell list so I can go through it. It's a huge undertaking you did, and it is greatly appreciated. Essentially, yeah. Unless we clarify a rule, assume it's as 5e. So just keep an eye on World Anvil's rules and spells and feats and whatnot. What is that particularly? What you need me to look at? Yeah, I thought it would show like 6 or something like that, and it's just limited to 3, and it makes me sad. Figure out how to turn it on at least. It's like a backwards way of doing it. I have to specifically anytime I want it to show up on that recent update, I have to click a button saying send it to updates. And it seems counterproductive. Because if I forget to click that button, I release the barbarian class, for example. Okay, look, no one knows I released the barbarian class. Yeah, I can do that. Add a little primer to this central rules document we have. Yeah, it is pretty annoying. I really, I find it a strange thing that they did. But yeah, yeah, indeed, it is greatly appreciated. Also, I've see you sent me it. I glanced at it. I have it marked as unread, so I can give a full overview for it. But I mean, I've seen the work that we've done in the past for all the different regions, but since this is the most recent one, I have not fully gone over the most recent update. That all said, I know that you are wanting to discuss something Pi. Would you like to bring that up now, or would you like to wait?
It's mostly just a question for, I guess, you and various region heads. Given that when I checked the character submissions earlier in the week, I think at the time we had 90, and 12 of them were evil aligned characters, and I understand that none of these have actually been approved yet.
Mm-hmm.
But a list of common crimes and their general punishments would be very helpful.
Yeah, it's going to be going on each
Yeah.
of the regional pages.
Okay.
For the common crimes for those 4 regions, yeah. That is on my list of things to transfer to World Amble, so I won't worry about that.
Excellent. Just let me know as you do, so I can make a master document
Definitely.
for me.
Definitely.
I'm pretty sure we already did it for most of the regions.
I think Dolator has it already, and
a couple months ago, yeah.
Yeah. You can find them in their various region corners.
Okay.
But I also think there might be some Google Docs on the drive that have those information as well. So those would be the 2 places to check. But it's on my list to transfer this week. Additionally, my mind is blanking on what I was about to say, and that sucks. Yeah, I'm gonna read chat while I try to remember. Yeah, I still don't remember. It's cursed existence. I think it was important, which makes it sad.
Don't worry. You'll remember it at 2 a.m.
It's true. Let me just look at my drive.
Any relevance to characters, maybe?
Oh, I remember now. Thank you. It was relevant to characters, technically. It's relevant to you specifically, though, since you're political. I've been doing the huge overhaul, going through all my notes for downtime and whatnot this week, and making sure everything's properly set from my rule systems on my computer, just transferring it to this document. I should be finishing out all of the rule systems on here, including the ones that were political related. I've already finished some of them. Transferring them over and making sure that they're up to date properly for our games in our living world. So when that's done, I'm gonna link you that document to give another look over, just to make sure they fit with political and what rules you might want to adjust or add context for. Because I imagine alibi and blackmail might be some pretty big ones. Same with infiltrate.
Yeah.
Smuggle definitely be a little bit more of a trickier one too. But those ones specifically, I'm like, there need political oversight for me to accept these rules as yes, they're good to go.
That's gonna be something that's gonna probably lead to me having some sleepless nights again.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I think for blackmail, I'm pretty sure it's blackmail, where I have specifically the political team or your group's handler, GM, whichever's most appropriate, is the one who makes the check for you. Because you don't know what you fucking rolled.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once we have a bot, we can just have the bot do that for us.
Legacy, it's under players
Yeah.
with a
That
folder.
is in the adventure folder for the Living World of Syrik
Yeah.
drive, then it's under players, PCs, backstories. That's where it's linked to. Yeah. And that's where the base form, editable form is, and then the Excel sheet that it, outputs all the information for. Last I looked, which was yesterday, we had about 89, I believe, 88, something like that. Yeah, which is totally doable.
Right now we have 97 submissions.
Oh damn. Yeah. I mean, that's totally doable with our current numbers. So I was pleasantly surprised.
I checked it, I think 4 days ago ish.
Yes, we definitely
I'm surprised at what people picked.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
There's there's an awful lot of Dolotor. There's an awful lot of Eldiria.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a fair amount of Wanderers.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people want to be from like Calabash or Pirate Lands and whatnot, so there's a lot of, wanderers around. Yeah, it's good stuff. I've been enjoying reading through the backstories. This is one person who wants to I believe they want to find the greatest cheese. I read that one like day one when it was released, so it's been a bit since I've read. But someone wants to find like cheese. It's like their main like goal. I'm like, yes, I appreciate.
Oh, just because the purple black cheese, now people got to find cheese.
Yep.
God damn it!
Yeah.
But currently of the 97 submissions, 13 of them are evil characters. Just as an interesting note, because that's something I have been keeping a track of, so I know what I have to deal with.
It's true. It's true.
Well, that's rude. Stop it.
I mean, keep in mind that a good portion of those are likely chaotic neutral players. That number includes.
I have been searching
you've been
specifically evil.
Okay.
Yeah, so the acknowledgement is there are 24. So there's 13 evil and then 14 chaotic neutral.
Let's see here.
So 24 evil.
No.
I
would say at least probably 70% of the 14 people that went chaotic neutral are like basically evil, and then maybe like 30% are not, just based off of my experiences in Farum. So
definitely, and I can send you the new rules. So, no problem. Yeah, look at that. We have 98 submissions right now. I'm just gonna scroll down to the alignment selection, just since people were asking specifics. Definitely a strong pop. How are you dealing with evil players? We don't have any specific containment zone, no specific player location, anything like that. No, it's just generally evil players will most likely band together with similarly aligned players, and their group will then do evil style missions. Yeah.
The nice part about how we have the DM set up is if we do get an evil group, they can be contained and we can deal with it as it comes up. If they do bad things with a grain of salt.
I mean, evil creates content. That's ultimately what it is. It just creates content for the good characters to either thwart or, try to fix.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So long as it's actually played correctly, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
We have 13 total evil.
Duke.
One of them is chaotic evil. Three
Only
are
one
lawful.
is chaotic.
Yeah.
Only one is chaotic.
Or
That's
lawful.
interesting.
Chaotic evil's boring.
Mhm, yeah.
Well,
That's the boring one. All right,
chaotic,
then. All
in
right.
my experience, chaotic evil is less boring and it's more lazy.
I mean, generally, we're going to see if we do have some murder hobo evils, they're going to quickly get snuffed out.
Oh yeah, 100 per fucking cent.
I'm not too worried about evil players, because like civilians alone, with the updates I'm releasing soon because of all our civilian rules, I'm adding them to the civilian class essentially. I have as a placeholder right now on the World Anvil. With all those changes, civilians can take on evil players.
Good, because I was looking at civilian and I was like, wow, fodder.
Yeah, the guard specifically. If you go civilian guard subclass, yeah, you can handle the evil
Because
players.
ideally, you will never be alone, for you
Yeah.
are a guard. You shall have guards with you.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. On the thing of civilians, you wanted to bring up to everybody the if we wanted to give them classes or not.
Oh yes. For civilians, I currently have it set where civilians are just a 1 level class. With our civilian rules, we actually have them able to level up. The rules that we've been working on all this time. I was thinking to change that civilian class just to be from just 1 level to be a 1 to 20. That way, it can also scale with players, and civilians can level up as a player would. With appropriate civilian related content, per the civilian rules we've worked on. Kind of expanded out to an actual class though, and wanted to get people's opinions on civilians being able to actually do that, like go from 1 to 20.
I think it's good. It makes it so, fireball into a whole bunch of PC civilians isn't going to lead to a lot of angry people.
Yeah.
I think it's probably better than what we did previously, in so much that you enter combat, you die instantly. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a feels bad, and it led to a lot of civilians not wanting to interact with PCs, I think, in the event that they got tired and combat, I'm dead. Okay. Fuck me, I guess.
Pissed off someone, you're dead.
Yeah, basically.
Let's see here.
There is, like I say, there is negative reputation. Yes. So infamy is a thing that exists. Renown goes from -100 to 100.
And then prestige is a 40 cap, I believe.
I think is what you put, yes.
Yeah.
But my idea is that depending on people's levels and what they do, I want to write out. I haven't had the time to actually write any mechanics for it, but I want to make a system where if people have enough infamy, NPCs will put bounties on them. Not necessarily to kill them unless they've done some serious fucked up shit, like mass murder or something, but hey, we'll pay you this much to capture this person dead or alive. So we can actually have bounty hunters.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
It would need actual mechanics though, and there's definitely going to be more NPC criminals to capture. So would need to make those, but that's just content creation in general. So
yeah, content creation, missions, RP events, and so on. So, in terms of your expanded update to what you meant by mission parameters for alignment limitations, mission parameters could include alignment limitations. So, like if there is a mission wherein a player is, or the NPC who's hiring the party is like, we're going on a holy mission to go and crusade against da 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 da, you could have an alignment limitation. But I would say that alignment limitation is to your presented character, not to who you actually are. What I mean by this is if you're disguised as a goody goody two shoes, and our NPC who hired you cannot see through your disguise, then you're a viable candidate to come on that mission. Because we do have a disguise system, disguise rules, which can hide your negative, your infamy, essentially, or your fame. Yeah, that's like, we do have some limitations in that regard that could be triggered. I don't think they're going to be too commonplace, but theoretically, yeah, alignment limitations, reputation limitations could be added onto a mission. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, though, because most times players will just be signing on to their individual group DM.
I can't wait for a mission where it's only paladins and clerics, and it's just called the Amen.
Yeah, that's fair.
All I'm going to say is that if the GM running that mission is not blasting Powerwolf the entire time, they're doing it wrong.
In terms of your second note towards negative reputation, very, very easily mission rewards could be influence. In fact, certain missions I encourage you to reward influence, which could be a double-edged sword. It could be influence towards one group and then negative influence towards an opposing group. Whether that's good and evil, or just like group who likes cheese and the group who doesn't like cheese. Yeah, whatever happens. It's just I encourage influence as a reward. Renown should be fairly important because renown will get you noticed by higher ups within the region, who then might call upon you to do fancier quests. It can also be used for our reputation system to make quests. Pretty expensive.
Indeed.
Though. Pretty expensive.
I'm just looking back to the last 3 prestige missions / campaigns I was on in Verum, and it's like, we don't have time to do this. Here's 5,000 gold. Pay some people to do it for us.
I mean, that's what it should be. It should be like, hey,
the Ord campaign was literally, okay, we don't have time to kill all of these fucking Kuatoa. So we bullshit them into giving us all of the prisoners, and then it was like, yes, so we'll send 5 more sacrifices down later. It was just another mission. It was funny.
I mean, that's just going back to advanced Dungeons and Dragons, where you bought minions and you bought everything because because you had to hope you made it to level 5.
I think on the Einhander mission, for anyone that remembers that, what I recall doing is Sean had this entire fort that we were supposed to clear out of undead so we could have a base camp there while we looked for Einhander. And then it was just the entire party collectively looked at each other, and we decided, this dragon is too much of a problem for us to wait. Here's gold. Hire some other people to do this. We need to find this fucking spear ASAP. And then we just fucked off, and I think it kind of ruined his pacing for the fucking game. It was good though. I want to see more of that, to be honest.
That's where I got the book that allowed me to summon a ton more undead than I should have.
Correct. Actually, I think you were on you were on both of the fucking yeah, you were on both of those missions.
The second one, I unleashed bleeding ones under there, and then it was just like, oh, all the Kuto are dead.
And then you just left them there. So now Ord's Ord Sewers didn't have a rat problem anymore.
All right, I have read through all the chat now. Good stuff. Yeah, I definitely need to look at the bounty system you wrote up again, Jokey. I know you wrote it up and I saw it way back when. But now that the renown rules have been made since you wrote it up, and I've actually fleshed them out a bit more. Like I said, last week I was going through all our rule systems, just fleshing them out, making sure they're up to date and spiffy to our current rule systems. But I forgot about that one. I need to go bring it up and make sure it coincides with all the other rules that we have. But I remember it looked pretty solid last I saw it. So yeah. But yeah, no, that will definitely help, especially in terms of being able to use influence to trigger them. And yeah, no, I can see players being like, oh, we have to go fight a bunch of Kuatoa as an example, and be like, yeah, fuck it, throw money at it. But yeah, that is good stuff there. Anything anyone else would like to bring up?
I will grab the full-time DM today. So that'll be another one that we can throw in the batch for players to be added.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Or that can join before we have to like soft cap it.
Nice. Very good, very good. Alright. That said, if you're interested in joining the Living World team as a DM, part-time DM, just a member of staff, please sign up for the training log. We're keeping on them, we're going through them, we're spiffing up some of our other rules, making sure that they're properly up to date. But the DM training rules, they're golden. They got what they need to do. So
Not only that, you get a free symbol of vodka and a potato.
I mean,
But that's your only rations for the month, so use it wisely.
Exactly.
Use it wisely.
asterisk. This is not a real potato, or is it real vodka?
Nope.
Anyways,
It's just water in a bottle.
let's see.
Still the only rations you're going to be getting, so use it wisely.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna let you do your tippy taps legacy in that case. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's true. Like, Pi has enough experience that we can actually just say, "Hey, if Pi doesn't prove you, there's probably a reason."
Pi
I have
kind of
been. I kind of have been doing it since November of 2018.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Like
Yeah.
it's and that's not a bad thing either. Like if Pi doesn't want you in there, there's probably a good reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus, we now have some more written up documents. Will help you with training people as well, Pi. So that's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I was like, hey, can we get a document for this?
Yeah.
That all said, in terms of other things to note, might as well just go through things while we wait for Legacy to bring up their new system they're working tippy tap through. I did do a minor edit to the prestige system that we have. I haven't released it to the World Anvil, but instead of being a prestige gain of, I think it capped out at like prestige gain of 2. You actually just gain every couple levels a bonus to prestige. So it's not like you only have 1 up to like level 8. You now have 2 up to like level 14, and then like 3 maybe up to level 20. It's at level 5 you get +1. At level 8 you get +1 for a total of 2. At level 11 +1, 14 +2, 17 +3, 20 +4. It builds up just from you gaining levels, so you do passively gain prestige, technically. And that includes civilians, technically. Because that's just a character thing. All characters can do this.
I mean, that makes sense too, because like once you hit like level 5 in a normal adventure, you're now in a city.
Yeah.
You've got like some gain is like, oh hey, this party of blah blah blahs saved Village A from a hag. I don't know. Insert monster here.
Yeah. One of the other pretty big things I've added. I went through my systems I've had on my computer and transfer it to the downtime document. Make sure it's all spiffy and whatnot. Is the building and buying a structure rules. Those are now on the world and or on not world level. tend to do that today or tomorrow. They're now on World Anvil's. I keep saying World Anvil. They're on our Google Drive. Nailed it. Third time's the charm. So if you want to look at those, you're interested. As staff team, they're there. The community can see them today or tomorrow when I release them on World Anvil. So, but they go into like initial lots, buying them, or just gifting them. So as a DM, you kind of know the general price line we're looking at for how much these are worth as a reward. So if you wanted to give someone like a castle, like, as an example, as a mission reward, you can technically do that now because we have prices for how much they would cost. And as a player, you can use your downtime to build these things. So people who have like carpentry tools or masonry tools, they can make some pretty good progress. Yeah, they can make some good money, I imagine, because they're going to be needed if people want to build custom structures. And of course, I have rules listed here if you want to just be like buy something, like you want to buy like a workshop for an alchemy lab. You don't want to worry about making it and spending all the downtime doing so. You just want to buy it. So
yeah. Since we have artificers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would mean we have engines, right?
Technically.
I hate this line of thought you're going down.
Hang on. So that means we could make D&D NASCAR.
I'm going to hurt you.
I mean, D&D NASCAR is basically just like horse racing.
It's literally chariot racing.
Yeah,
we don't need engines
racing,
for that.
Yeah, but we can have engines.
I mean, look,
No.
all I'm going to say here is that if we ever unlock Aetherstorm or the Fwinton Confederacy as a region, we already have that.
Nice.
So,
NASCAR's already there.
I mean, it's not technically NASCAR because that's copyright or what trademarked or what the fuck ever. But
it's
there's a version of it that exists. So that's all that really matters.
It's the Goblin Pit Crew drives chariots.
Yeah, I mean, and Aetherstorm is mostly like Radfolk. But yeah.
Apparently, it's an LLC.
Oh,
the more you know.
Yeah. All right. I also made sure to update the downtime rules with some of the other rules that we've had because I noticed they were missing sanity information on the downtime rules, so I've added therapy as a downtime option. You can go to therapy. I've also updated some other rules here for sanity and corruption and whatnot. So, anyways, I've been going through a lot of our systems, make sure they all coincide with one another, and that's what I've been doing. So, yeah, good stuff. It's been a lot. But yeah, anything else you guys want to discuss?
If I remember correctly, Duke, the faction on the island does therapy for sanity in case people get fucked up. And I think as long as you can find a priest that can cast Greater Restoration, it should help.
You can go to a PC for therapy, yeah. Yeah. The way that those particular rules were written, in the way that I have the therapy downtime action set up, is that there's fees for it, there's all these other things, but if you can go to, as I wrote it, an allied contact willing to see you, you can waive the fee. Unless, they don't want to waive
They're going to charge you a fee.
They can charge you a fee if they still want to, but essentially, you can go to PCs, which means you can also have a civilian or a player character, adventuring character, act as a therapist. So if you want to be, a civilian therapist character, you can do that. If there's rules for you to do this. Yeah.
So, Duke, are we going to see you become Dr. Phil?
I mean, I don't have a second character yet, so why not?
Syrik props, a video going over the updates and all that. That is on the to-do list. Likely not this week. Probably next week, though. Yeah. It will be released before launch, though. That is my goal, is to, before we actually send players into the world itself and let them, RP and whatnot, that video will be released. I want to do some more tweaking with the framework before I do that, though, so I haven't done any work on that particular video at this time.
This is real.
I'm pretty sure we already have a central character sheet on the world, or on, I keep saying World Anvil, on our Google Drive. Patrons we've got on it. Yep. What else we need fleshed out to have one for each warlock type? I just need to transfer my warlock patrons on the list, as well as my deities. So, like I said, it's something I've been slowly putting all my stuff onto World Anvil for. Once I get Sax stuff that they sent me onto World Anvil, and I get my stuff on there, I think both deities and patrons will be complete for purposes of launch.
I'm trying.
Hello, Panda. Yeah, we have at least two patrons per pact. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we have one. It's I believe it's under the forms folder. My mind's not working right now for some reason. All good, Panda. Yeah, gods are definitely more intense. My current thing right now is, for purposes of launch, all we really need is the initial paragraph and the domains, oaths, and inquisitor options, subclass options. Once we have those, we can put it on World Anvil. Anything more detailed, obviously we will, have our own notes for them and whatnot, but for launch purposes, we need to have just the blurb and then the subclass options on World Anvil. More than that, very much welcome, but it's not a required to have written down on World Anvil for launch. So, like, I have my subnotes, like bullet points and whatnot, to keep me aware of certain things for my gods and whatnot, or more detailed stuff that I don't want on World Anvil, but a requirement for the DD to be considered launch ready.
Or the road. The road's always a good place to start.
Yeah. Definitely some good starting locations, events, zones, areas of play for the RP channels. Be very much appreciated. We already have a decent amount of them already filled out for the various different regions. I believe Doladur and Arlogus, those are they're pretty freaking good. They have like pretty detailed descriptions of the area, of the different channels. We can add more, because a lot of those are more of like, here's a city. It's pretty detailed about what the city is, but having some that are like, here's a specific tavern, or here's a specific place of gathering, like a town square, or things of that nature. Those particular ones would be necessary still. But yeah, I need to go through my Alderia notes and slap those onto the Alderia channel, so they're at the same level as Arlogus. But yeah, main cities for each region is definitely a good RP channel for the different regions. The year, let me go bring up my notes for that. The easiest way to find this out is look at Whispering Nights. I believe the year should be 2703.
So something I would suggest is like you have a lot of the region channels, but there's no like overarching channel for, just hey, this is an announcement that happens everywhere,
Hmm.
or this is just a general announcement. And I would suggest above your region channels because most people, once the RP starts, they're going to be focusing on their region channel mostly.
That's fair. I can slam a an announcement, regional announcement, or a regional announcement plus a worldly announcement channel.
Plus, you can also do an intro in there whenever
Mhm.
we do open that will post like, hey, this is the year, this is what's going, general events that is
I'm
happening.
I'm literally writing up the patch notes template that we used.
Yeah.
I'm just editing
Okay.
it slightly
There we go.
because I have I organized that shit in another channel or another Discord, so I still have access to that. So yeah, I'm just writing up the
I mean, that's the
template
same
for it. That's what I'm
form.
looking for.
That's still the same template we use for downtime days, isn't it?
Yes, so it's the it leads off with patch notes. It's going to end up being Syrik, probably 1.0, the date it was released, the downtime days for the week, the current date, then general updates, rules additions changes, rules clarifications, and whips. So that's if we want, we can change that as needed. It's just that's what it was. So
Mhm.
I'm just writing that.
I mean, we did tell a lot of people that there would be stuff changing as we go forward. So
Yeah.
having the like patch notes already in there saying, "Hey, this is what has changed. This is what we've updated or altered because all the stuff we're gonna have to alter anyway."
Definitely. I think that would be good to just have in there as well. Yeah.
Just get down.
Let's see here. I think for my purposes, for like the missions overarching thing, I probably should. I just barely thought of this because I brought up the my DM notes for my Whispering Knights campaign, and I was like, oh, this would be helpful for the DM team as a whole. Would be making the DM team a calendar that we can all use to indicate key events that might be happening for the different regions. So technically 4 calendars, but yeah, just any DM can edit it, add a little event indication, mark what's happening, what day it happened, what not, and all that good stuff. And that'll be helpful.
I'd make one calendar with 4 different colors.
Yeah, that's what I'd be doing. Is it was one particular folder, but it would have each separate region indicated for him. But like my particular calendar, it marks the date, marks the current time, marks all these other things, and automatically updates for me. Marks the the villain points that have been accrued for that region, if they've been assigned, what they've been assigned to, all these other things, and it's a pretty helpful tool, and I feel like it'd be helpful for the DM team to have as like a region head would have as a resource that they can utilize. I don't know why I didn't think about this before because like I always just use it in my games. Anyways, it's a thing. I'll make it for us. It's fine. Um, let's see here. So the Whispering Knights campaign is currently on hiatus. We've just been playing in the second edition Pathfinder, seeing how we feel about it. I'm still on the fence if I like it or not for that particular game, so I'm not sure if we will properly transfer to TF2E for that game, or if we're just gonna transfer to Spheres of Divinity like Ghosts is doing. Ghost is also on hiatus. Well, until I finish Spheres of Divinity. What are your current campaigns in total? Purposes of games related to the living world. Hiatus, hiatus, hiatus. In play. I have 1 in play. Yeah, and that's my Sunday game. And that's only by technicality. Because technically, it is set in the same universe. as Living World. It's on the planet of Syrik, so that's
Odds are it's not going to have any impact on the living world.
Exactly.
And if it does, it's not going to be for a long while.
yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's going to have any impact on the living world, but the other ones are on hiatus right now, and I'm moving forward with that knowledge that it likely won't have any major impact on any games or whatnot. That said, for the Whispering Knights campaign, since that's actually taking place in Bruges, if the players want to come into chat and RP as their characters, they are free to do so. Because timeline-wise, it's about the same time. Yeah. But I would say Whispering Knights is probably the closest to being on hiatus. Purely because we're just going through the current book, and when the book's done, we're gonna go back to the actual main story. Whether that is switching to Pathfinder 2nd Edition or continuing with 5e and then going to Figures. Other than that, though, looking through the chat to see if there's anything else I should address.
The only thing I can see that may need a little bit of work, I apologize about the noise,
It's all good.
is you may want to clean up the Living World General and off-topic drop-down, because it's a little bulky right now, like the dev Q&A. Nobody's been active in that for a year or so, and then homebrew discussion should probably be moved towards D&D discussion,
Definitely.
because they're essentially the same thing, and it will just make it a lot cleaner.
Yeah. And it'll give us more channels that we can use for Living World purposes proper.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of those were there more of a when we were more of a focus towards a split between Living World and gaming, but at this point we're definitely more of a Living World focus, so I think cleanup would be good. Yeah.
That and the living or the map tool dev Q&A. To be fair, we haven't had too many map tools updates in a bit, so there hasn't been much reason to really ask anything. And on top of that, they have their own Discord that you could just go to and ask about. So
that's true. Yeah. Let's see here. For update streams, those will likely be focused more towards a overarching update of the various missions and the arcs that are going on with the world, and any potential stream games that are related to it. I think the one that would be potentially related would be Whispering Knights. Ghost is a campaign that's technically taking place before the Living World starts. It actually is what triggers the next heir to really begin, is the conclusion of Ghosts. And I'm just gonna have to assume that they succeeded in their mission for purposes of progressing the Living World, because obviously they're not gonna continue playing until at least like 6 months from now. So, and that's not really, viable, since they're still early on in their campaign. They're still on book 1, I believe. They finished prologue. They're on book 1 now. So, I just need to assume that they succeeded for purposes of Living World.
Okay. It was just a question, mostly because, they were kind of mixed in Verum, so.
Yeah.
Well, technically the Sunday meetings count as update streams.
Yeah.
I guess, but they're not really streamed. It's more, we have a VOD for you guys, so.
Yeah.
But, it technically counts as an update stream?
It does give some pretty good update. The Sunday recordings, though, they're more of a update on the overall staff side of things, and I intend to actually have some streams that are related towards the story of the Living World. So focus on the missions side of things.
Alright, so it's basically the update, or the meeting VODs are for players, but the update streams, air quotes, are for, characters specifically.
Yes.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, you can consider the update stream as a news announcement, worldly news announcement, blah blah blah. Here's what's going on. while the recordings that we have are more of a here's what's happening within the mechanics of the world, anything that might have changed, anything that might need to be noted, anything that's more of a non-player centric and more of a organization centric update. Reading through your post-its legacy now. Yeah, I would have update streams after region meetings. They're not going to be like a regular Sunday occurrence unless we have region meetings every Sunday, or every whatever day we have region meetings on. They're going to be as needed, essentially. Yeah. And anything beyond those region meetings will be things that players can actually gather from their own knowledge through RP event teams and whatnot. So, gathering rumors, which actually is a downtime activity where you can gather rumors, or you can sow rumors if you want to make people think things are happening. That's something that Pi and I are gonna have to work through, because that is definitely something that's political related on the mechanics of that one. Once I finish the base, once I'm transferring over. Yep. As you say, less regular keeps people in the loop. Yes. Yeah, part-time DMs can do larger story stuff, whether spaced over time or like even if you wanted to, as a part-time DM, just I happen to have a really free month or couple months right now, and I'm just going to run a mission every week for the next 3 months, and then like not run missions for like a month or two. Yeah, you're cool to do that. You just the only real difference between part-time and full-time is the ability to guarantee that group slots are covered by your DMing. So like if we can guarantee that players can get 3 sessions a month from you, cool, golden, excellent, shiny, amazing. And that way that we can guarantee certain number of player slots. As a part-time DM, we can't really do that. But it does allow you to work with heavier stuff. It does allow you to do simpler stuff, whether them be one shots or more. Yeah, as Legacy said, just coordinate with region head. Yep, as Legacy says again. Mm. You could, yeah. If you wanted to have a evolving storyline, you could. Yeah, having differing players and evolving storyline could make the story not as impactful as you're hoping. But you could totally do it. Just depends on how you go about it. Depends on how impactful it might be for you as a DM. I'm sure it'll be impactful to the world, but yeah. Yeah. No worries. You, in my eyes, part-time, full-time DM. The only difference really is dedication of group. You have a group dedicated to you, yes or no? And if you do have a group dedicated to you, are you running your games consistently? So that's really my major difference between the two. I mean, part time still get the same reward of player slot. It's just it's only active so long as they're active. But yeah, that's thought. Anything else anyone would like to bring up? All right, good stuff, good stuff. Appreciate everyone showing up, all that good stuff, all the work you've been helping with out with, and I think we'll close things out here. I see you're typing though, so I'm gonna wait half a second. Excellent. All right. In that case, good meeting, and